overall, I'm gonna give it a what we do out of 10 for
Yeah.
overall rating.
Mm.
I'm gonna go with a 5. I struggled. I did struggle through this book. And then spiciness, chili peppers. I'm gonna give it a 1.5.
Mm-hmm.
And I will save my opinions until you guys do your scoring.
Okay. I was gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5.
Okay.
Wow, sorry, not 5 out of 10. Wow, that was being really generous.
So spicy.
Because I have a spreadsheet on my
Loved it.
thoughts, and it's out of 5 for some reason, so I was looking at it. No, 4.5, 5 out of 10. And then for spicy, I would say we did 5 chili peppers, right?
Mhm,
Yeah.
Out of 5.
I would say 2.
All right. Now I have to adjust that based on my scale. I was originally gonna give it a 7 out of 10, but that's because I just didn't know like how to define like not necessarily a bad book, but so I think based off of your scale, I'd probably give it like a 5.5.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably say,
Mhm.
and then I would say for chili peppers, I would give it. I honestly thought I'd give it like a 3 because I feel like that's all it was.
I will just say, and I think Megan and I were alluding to this, but I don't think you were very far yet, Brie. All of her other books that I've read kind of have like the same like formula, I guess, and I was hoping that with the take the jump to fantasy that it kind of change. I feel like there's always like a will they, won't they kind of relationship, and then there's always some sort of miscommunication that then the FMC finds out that it's truly like, oh wow, he's been in love with me this whole time. But I was hoping like with the fantasy it'd be like a little more in depth, and I don't want to bash her, but I felt like it was like very lazy that there wasn't just like a lot of other world building in like our other fantasies. But maybe I'm like thinking like comparing her to like SJM when she just does write like these romances, and like all the other books that I've read by her are workplace romances. So I just think I think it's funny because all the other fantasies, I'm like, I want more world building. I don't like the world building. I know this one. I'm like, I want more world building. So I don't want to use the word lazy, but like I kind of wanted more.
It was just really slow in the beginning. Like, I know, Brie, you said you were stuck on, like, chapter 2 or something, which I agreed, because I was just like, oh my god, like, where the fuck is this going? And then I definitely almost DNF'd it, because it did not hold my attention. And what you said about the world building was, like, there could be too much in a book, like we've seen before, but then too little. And this gave us literally not even crumbs of world building. Like, I didn't even realize where the fuck I was. Like, I was reading it, and I was like, where am I? Like, they all coexist. I would want to know how they coexist. Like...
That was one of my questions, because, like, they mentioned North America, they mentioned Italy, they mentioned California.
Exactly!
Yeah. What, like, were we in North America? What?
And they were like, oh, we're going to California. I'm like, then where are you? Where are you? I was so confused.
I was like, are you guys in Florida? Are you guys on Montana? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Is it Canada? Like,
they're like, we're just here.
More.
Yeah, we're just here. And, like, the story was so predictable. I think by a quarter of the way, I was like, yeah, they're mates. Okay. Like, end of book. Get it now. Awesome. And then I just, like, the spicy scenes were okay. The way she did them, they were fine. Like, they were whatever. But I just think Homegirl was looking up too much, like, furry Reddit porn, to be honest with you.
Oh, thank you.
And that's how she figured out what she figured out. And I was just like, wow, you made this way too simple for everyone here. And then the spice scenes didn't make up for the fact that it was so goddamn boring. And it led to nothing. Also, I don't like this whole, and SJM gets a pass, like this whole, oh my god, mates are so rare, and then ends with, oh my god, look at my friend now has a mate. Oh my god. Yeah. And it's like, come the fuck on. Like, this is why I don't trust TikTok. Yeah.
You know, book 2 is coming.
Yeah, you know what I'm gonna do with book 2? I'm not gonna read it, because this was so fucking boring that I could have just wasted my time doing something else.
one more thing, and then I'll let you go, Brie. I do want to say is that pisses me off with Ali Hazelwood. She writes her FMCs to be the smartest person in the room, like can outsmart anyone. But they're so fucking clueless to the love that they are in. Like, it's just one more thing, and I'm sorry if I'm ruining other Ali Hazelwood books for you guys, but
No,
like
you're fine.
all her other books, you know, they are book smart, they're witty, they're cunning, and then it's like, oh, you actually liked my smell this whole time? No fucking shit. Yes, he did.
Bessie was so dumb, and Bessie had no goddamn clue where she was even at.
Like
I doubt she could put her shoes on. Like, that's
Like
how dumb this girl was.
She has this formula, and I eat them up because obviously they're all on my shelf, and I read them all back to back to back. But it's all the same book. Anywho, go ahead, Brie.
Yeah, your turn.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm like so speechless. Okay, when I first started reading this book, I was like, all right, this is dragging. And I was looking at Nick. He's like, why are you not that far? Like, I'm laying on the couch, but I keep getting distracted, and I'm like, this is so boring. Like, I don't know what's happening. Like, I really didn't starting to enjoy it probably until 200 pages, was halfway through the book.
That's more than halfway.
When like they finally started like having some type of romance going on, like the little spicy scenes, and I felt like that was just the majority of the book. Like the first
flirting.
half was like, I don't even know. Yeah, it was like all the flirting, and then like they were still all the way up until the end was still just like these spice scenes, which is fine, but that was the only thing that kept my interest. In terms of like the whole plot, like where she was, what was happening. Once again, there was like no world building, didn't know where they were. I was just so confused about it, even when you first start the book and how she starts it at the wedding first. I was like, hold on, I'm gonna need a little more
I was so
here.
confused.
She does that in every book,
Oh
guys.
my god. I was so confused.
In every book she does that, and then it's either a flashback or she changes the entire setting, and like you're confused for like 2 chapters.
Oh my god, no thank you.
Yeah.
I thought I was
like,
having a stroke. I was so confused.
I need order. I need order.
I need order.
Yeah, I don't even know how to describe it. Okay, I will say what I did like about the book. I actually liked the main character. I liked Misery. I felt bad for her because of her family treating her like shit. Her dad was an asshole. But I liked how witty she was. Like, I liked her sense of humor and some of her comebacks and stuff that she was setting back and forth. And that she was very laid back. She was more of like a tomboy. She's not like a girly girl. Like, she's literally talking to people and saying, dude. Like, it reminded me of myself. Like, that's how I talk all the time. So I liked her. I didn't like Lo. And even by the end of it, like I didn't even like him at the very end. I was kind of upset. I didn't like that whole thing where it's like after they had sex, he was just like, all right, nah, I'm not actually in love with you and all this
right?
stuff.
Oh my god.
I was livid. I was like, yo, I'm not messing with these fuckboys right now. I just couldn't. And even at the very end, it was like, then they like made up all of a sudden. And I would have been like, no, if that was me, I would have been like, that's it. You had one choice. And then he's like pushing her away in a way. I was gonna be like, Misery, if he doesn't want you, if he's gonna want to push you away, then fucking leave. You need a man that's gonna be like, I want you. That's it. Period. I don't need like ugh. It just bothered me. So I didn't like Lo, but I liked Misery. I appreciated her, and like she was funny and whatnot. I appreciated her loyalty to her friend, that she kept searching for her. But other than that, like, I don't know. It took me a long time to get through.
I mean, I liked Lo a little bit, and you didn't read this book, Brie, but Becca, he reminds me of, what's his face from Does It Hurt?
Oh, Enzo.
He reminds me a little bit, like his mannerisms and the way he looks, and, minus the sharks, but,
Instead of sharks.
but I liked him a little bit, but I think the whole, like, the dialogue was just so drab. Like, how he was explaining, like, mates are really important, like, they almost like SJM, like, they ground you, they keep you who you are, and you can't live without them, yada, yada, yada. Whatever, that's fine. But I know she's a different species, but he was just, like, telling her that, and then when she just, like, finds out they're mates, she was like, oh, okay. Like, it wasn't, like, a Feyre type of reaction. Like, she wasn't mad, she wasn't happy, she wasn't upset. She was just, like, neutral. She was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. She was like totally okay after he
Mhm.
just like broke her heart and was saying
Yeah.
that no, they're not mates. That would have gotten me mad. I would have justified like
Right.
if that happened with Feyre, I would have justified it. I would say, yep, nope, your anger is completely justified because that D-bag literally just fucked you and then told you no and then like ran
Mhm.
away.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden things are fine. Like, no.
And like I wanted that conflict because like we can assume that he was like, no, I don't love you. I never wanted to say those words to like protect her, or maybe because they're different species. Like
Protect from what?
Exactly.
Like,
there was no context.
There's no-
like
I just wanted like something, like some explanation. Like you said,
Yeah.
Brie, like they just kind of coasted over it and they're like, oh yeah, we're mates. Cool.
and we're together and we're gonna have sex and it's gonna make everything perfect. Like it doesn't work that way.
I wanted something. Like I wanted a little more, and I guess like I don't know. I felt like this really came off of like, you know, the whole. She's very big on book talk, obviously.
Mhm.
The whole book talk, you know, fantasy, romantasy blow up, and like I really feel like this is like a quick grab, you know, quick money grab. Like,
Oh,
let
for
me get,
sure.
Let me get on the scene real quick,
Yeah.
and you know, just kind of release something just to get my foot in the water. And like I
Yeah.
get it, you know, this is her first romantasy book, but like
It just
like
didn't
I
feel
said,
genuine. Like
no,
it didn't feel like she had love in it.
and it really read like all her other books to me. I'm sure other people have different opinions, but
I mean, it doesn't even matter if you like the other books or not. In my opinion, like I don't need to read the other ones to know that this had no love in it. Like
Yeah.
we've read books that have love in it and have passion, and literally like you just said, it just felt like she wrote this to fucking cash in some checks. And to be honest, like I'm just gonna be mean, I don't even care today, but like I feel like because TikTok is the way it is and you can pay people to say anything, I wouldn't be surprised if there was little green involved, because I saw so many TikToks that were like, oh my god, this book changes your life, it's just amazing. It's like, dog, this was hot trash. This was not it. And if you think this is the best book of 2024, I think you need to reevaluate and maybe throw your library away, because you should not be reading if you thought this book was the best book of 2024. Give me a goddamn break. It was just not good. And what pissed me off the most was how at the end she was like, oh, I want you to give me that mark. That means I'm your mate. It's supposed to be special, right? The most special thing that you could give someone. He's like, oh, another time, haha. Okay, that's fine, whatever. And then she ends the goddamn book. And I'm like, were you gonna do that at some point? Like, if it's so special, you're just gonna graze over it? Lack of information. Lack of information.
I feel like I don't even know what else to say, because
Me
like
either.
I didn't feel like there wasn't a lot of plot.
And that's it,
not a lot
folks.
to talk about.
Yeah,
There's not a lot to
There's not
talk
a lot.
about.
No.
Like the spice scene. Okay, I'll talk about the spice scene. I thought it was like I said, after 200 pages, the rest of it is like them flirting and they're like making out and doing whatever. He's like marking her,
Mhm.
and then and whatever. But like I thought that they were good, and that's the only reason I gave it a 3, was because it was like the majority of the book is just them flirting
Mhm.
and like some of these like sex scenes or whatever. But yeah, no, I got that like little furry vibe, and I was like, listen, I don't know if werewolves are just not my thing. I love vampires, but like I was like, I don't know about the whole werewolf thing. The whole thing with the knot thing was so weird. I wasn't feeling it.
It just didn't work. Like I would find it fine usually because I'm a freak, but like, but it didn't work because he's trying to explain to her like, oh, like we're not like our physical bodies aren't
They're not compatible.
they're not compatible.
Like, shut up, just shove it.
But then like there's no context as to why, because this motherfucker doesn't know. Because she's like, oh, why don't you know? And he's like, oh, I don't. It's like, why did you say that? Like, you have no idea. Yeah, exactly. And then to not touch on it, like,
To not touch it for a couple chapters. I thought that was just me. I thought that was like her way of saying like he's like, oh, I'm way too big. And
that's
was
what
like,
I
okay.
thought.
I was
Yeah.
like, all right, that's him. Humble brag.
Yeah.
And then a couple chapters later, I was like, what the fuck is this? I don't know how you guys felt. I did the blood thing with like their foreplay, just that kind of, I did not like that. That kind of was like, I was appalled. I was like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Oh, like the vampire, her sucking his blood.
Yeah, like you're getting off on that, and like, I don't
I
know.
thought it would be the other way around for her, to be quite honest. I didn't think he would be the one to
Yeah,
be
I was
into
like, yeah, he's
that.
a bite fetish, but like I don't know. I would. Shit. If I had a vampire and he wants to dig his fangs in my neck, I think I would be.
It's the
honestly.
Twilight speaking out for me. This
I
whole
don't know
book
if
was
it's Twilight.
Twilight.
I did think that at one point.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was just me. I was like, maybe the biting thing, but like she was getting off and she was like talking about like the taste of his blood and how it's not like, you know, the her normal food and all that. And I was like, I don't know how to feel about this.
It was just the way she worded things like that. Like, I feel like other vampire books aren't like that. Like, they word it in a romantic way to where you're like, oh, okay, like, I kind of get it. But she worded it like, oh, it tastes like copper and tastes
yeah, it was
like
copper,
blood.
warm and
Like,
tingly.
it's so disgusting.
I get the biting part because like, you know, that's like very like human and relatable. But yeah, like the taste is what she was getting off on.
Yeah,
And then
no.
I think he was getting off on, you know, like the biting and the sucking, which
Mhm.
I understand. But like her part of it, I was like, what the fuck is happening?
It just
The
was
other thing
bad writing.
The other thing I hated was like that their blood was like purple and green.
Oh
I
my
said,
god, yeah, why? What?
He would blush
what-
and his cheeks would be green.
I know, and all I pictured him was like Shrek. That's all I pictured in my head. I was like, what?
Did you guys also have to Google what an aster is?
A what?
The aster, that's what they said the war was like with the purple and green blood. I didn't know what
You
that
know,
was.
I think that just went right over my head.
So like like the first couple chapters they kept mentioning aster, and I was like, normal people don't know what this fucking is. It's a flower. I had to
What?
Google that.
Stop.
You guys missed that?
No, I'm Googling that right now.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
So the last war between the wolves and the vampires,
Mm.
they called it the Aster when like the last marriage, it ended in bloodshed. So they said everything was green and purple, and that's what the color of the flower is, and that's why the vampires call it the Aster.
See, I was so not
That was so lame.
like
She said it so many times, and I'm like, am I dumb for not knowing what this fucking means? Is this a normal word? And then I looked it up, and like, I was like, oh, because they said that there's more purple blood, more vampire blood, because the wolves are stronger, more numerous. And I was like, dude, she just hyped this up for like a little wildflower. That kind of pissed me off too.
I also thought we were
can't-
gonna get more of that too. That's why I was like, oh, this is super important. Evidently, it was not.
Yeah, that would have been a lot of good lore to like learn about.
Yeah,
you know,
really.
the war and all that, but they're just like, yeah, vampires died. Let's not let that happen again. Moving on.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell my daughter to you. So that should fix everything.
Yep.
Problem solved. Nah, dog. This book was not it.
No. And also, I feel like the end, you know, when we get the big reveal, I kind of felt like it was her dad the whole time, and then it happened. I was like, oh, shocker.
The only thing I didn't see happening was her friend being a half-were human.
Yeah.
That
thing.
was a surprise. That was
Yeah.
a surprise.
I didn't see that coming.
That was a good little secret there.
Mhm.
I thought that her and Liliana were gonna be like half siblings.
That's what I
That's
thought.
what I thought too.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that I actually didn't see that it was like her dad at first because like it happened right after Lo like was all being a dick, and so I thought like, oh, is Lo actually like just this terrible bad guy? Did he actually take her friend and all that? And then like
Mhm.
because Mick was there taking her wherever and then injected her, I was like, oh fuck, it is Lo. I was like, Lo is actually bad, but then it showed up being her dad. And I was like, oh, lame. If it would have been Lo, it would have been better.
Right? I would have felt a little bit more of a something. When the dad showed up, I was like, oh, alright. Just
All
fucking
right,
kill
peace
him.
out.
Like, you're gonna do. Let's just move on. For it to say exclusive edition, bitch, there was nothing exclusive in here.
There was nothing exclusive.
Nothing.
I thought that too. I went through other. It says there's a bonus essay. I didn't read it though.
Yeah, I don't give a shit, Ali Hazelwood, about what you have to say. I wanted more book.
I
mean, it
know
didn't
if that
really,
was
but-
the I want a better book.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was the exclusive part of it, but other than that, I was like, what's so exclusive about this?
Shout out to my TikTok book talk girl that I follow. She was like, this is not it. She was like,
Yo,
I'm struggling.
I literally didn't believe you too when you said that. I was like, oh, everybody loves it. Like, it's so weird. Nope. I want to try and give it a chance. And like,
Yeah.
the first the first smutty-ish scene, I think. I don't even think it was the full one. I think they were on the airplane or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to continue to give it a chance after that. I was like, okay, like, it's getting somewhere. It's just slow. No. I expected, like, at the end to, like, cover all the bases. You know, like, to fill all the plot holes and shit. And she was like, oh, nope, I'm done. Hee hee. Like...
There is so much more I wanted. There's so much plot. There's like she set up I really feel like this is like a skeleton and like she could have just been like easily filling in some blanks.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted more. Like I want to know more about like the traits, you know, between the vampires and the weres when they send people to the human realm.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know about her human time. I want to know about like the 3 boys that went over the river and like what happened there.
Yeah.
I want to know about Roscoe and his whole reign of terror.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know about the governor who had those shady dealings.
Right.
I want to know about how other, you know, in Europe that they all live together. He just mentioned like, yeah, I went to school and fuck some humans and vampires, and then I'm kept back here. Like, give me more.
Yeah, you definitely just summed it up there. Like, it feels like if she's setting up for something more, whatever, but it just, you can't cover all the world building to get people on the same page and then do an entire romance stretch of, because how long did this go for? It was like months, right? Like 3 months, like time-wise?
It was a good time frame.
Yeah, I think so, because they said that her friend was missing for about 3 months.
Yeah, it was like 2 or
right?
3 months. So I'm like, you can't cover all that. And what was this? Like, hold on. Not even 400 pages.
Yeah, just under.
Just shy. 399. So, or, I don't know.
Oh.
Just shy.
Yeah, 396, 399 with acknowledgements.
Whoa, that's going far. But yeah, you can't cover all that in less than 400 pages. Like, that's not possible. And have a positive reaction by your fans. Like, that's not, I don't know. Like, she missed the mark real bad.
Yeah, and I wanted more with like the pack. Like, I can't even remember their names because they're so insignificant.
Right? June was one of them.
Yeah, and Alex was the tech guy. And
Yeah.
then Cohen, that's how I was pronouncing it.
Yeah, Cohen.
Cal the
I don't even know.
Kendall. Was Cal Kendall?
I don't even know.
No.
I don't know.
Kendall was a different name. I forget his name though. Oh, it was I know it. It was Ludwig. Was it Ludwig?
Oh, Ludwig. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ludwig.
See, they're named like 2 or 3 times, and he's like, "This is my right hand man."
Yeah.
I didn't understand the whole thing with seconds. Like they try to explain seconds.
Yeah.
And then there's like 8 seconds.
And
You know.
each person has seconds, but then someone else's second can be your second.
Also, what's a huddle? They were like, we're from the same huddle. Does that mean like litter? Like your mom gave birth to 25 of you?
And then
I'm
also
so confused.
like the lady, Roscoe's wife was like the southwest pack, but then he's from the northeast. South of what? Southwest where?
Yeah, but you flew to California in 3 hours. So where were you?
And I'm like, you know, I want to know like what your territory is like. But yeah, it's like we're visiting the southwest pack. Of what?
And I was like, it's so funny because you know how they teach you in school, like, never eat soggy waffles, like how to read, like, the compass? I was doing that the whole time when they were, like, southwest. So I was, like, pointing there. I'm like, north, south. I was like, oh, okay.
And then they mentioned, like the border where, like, all 3 meet. I was thinking, like, the 4 corners of, like, Utah.
That's what I was thinking, too.
Colorado, all that. But I was like, where is it? And, like, it sounds like they have to fly to some places, but then they can drive over the fucking border. But then they also said that, like, no one can cross the border and they get killed on sight.
But they cross the border immediately.
But she just drives over it when she says her name.
Uh-huh. They're like, oh, we'll kill you later. You're fine now.
Yeah, they're, like, completely segregated, but they could just drive on over.
I don't know. I like, my classic now is I don't know. because I just don't have an answer for this book.
I'm just venting. I
know.
There are
Let it out.
Yeah. I just I don't know. Yeah, I'm just glad that we're done.
I'm glad I finished it.
We can just move
on.
on.
Like, I gotta finish this book.
Yeah.
It was struggle. It was a
I
struggle.
would struggle. Wait, Becca, you read it in like 2 days though.
You probably wanted to be done with it.
I literally wanted to get it over with.
I would have been done sooner if I didn't pick up an extra shift because my mom was sick. I was so upset. I was gonna read all day Wednesday.
You weren't missing much at that time. Like if
you weren't rushing for it.
Yeah, it wasn't a do or die situation here with Bride.
Yeah.
So,
would you recommend it to anybody?
no, I was just gonna say
I
this
don't
is not a
even know if I
recommend.
should give it to like my friend.
No, I wouldn't.
Read this book next.
You would be shunned. Don't do that.
I will not.
Do not do that. We gotta do our civil duty.
You gotta take the bad with the good, so you appreciate the good.
Exactly.
Now I know. Now I know how to kind of scale things. Right?
Exactly. No, seriously.
I'm
like,
learning.
true. Yeah. You're gonna read some bad books. Becca and I have read some shit books. This is not the first one, I'm sure.
I guess if I wouldn't recommend it, I feel like that would change my rating. I feel like then I would drop it to like a 5. Like, okay, it's readable. It's not like absolutely not like trash, but I don't think I would do it again.
I think the problem too is that like, so this is her, before we're done, like, this is my last like whole spiel on it, but like this is her introductory to fantasy, right? But the whole nodding thing, I'm fine with it. I don't care, but it's just like if she's taking a step into fantasy, that is the wrong step to take, because that is like advanced shit right there. And so if you were to even give this to a friend, it feels wrong. Like, it feels really wrong to give this to someone because of that.
So she didn't make up nodding?
No,
it's a real thing.
That's a real thing.
We made it through.
I made it through. I'm a little scarred. I'm a little beat up though.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it at the back of my bookcase so nobody can see it. So I can't see it.
If anybody's like, can I borrow that book? Yeah, you can have it if you want it.
Yeah, you don't even have to pay me for it. And don't talk to me about it later. You can actually just have it.
I never suggested it to you. You said
This is not me suggesting. This is me handing it over because you asked for it.
Don't come at me.
Yeah, you cannot be upset later. And
like, what the fuck
there's
are
no
you
takey
doing?
backsies. Do not give it back. I don't even care if I'm being mean. It's the reality.
I feel bad. Being
No, don't feel
Nothing
bad.
against you, Ali Hazelwood.
Nah, do better. Be better.
Oh my gosh.
That's it. All right. Are we done with our review then? Is that the shortest one we're ever gonna do?
That's probably the truth.
Like we said, there's not much to talk about.
No, and even when I cut this down, it's gonna be like 30 minutes.
Half an hour.
30 minutes.
Yeah.
Half
All
an
right.
hour of me bitching.
Yeah, I'm just complaining about a 400-page book. Okay.
Barely
Well,
400.
yeah, 396. A really hard 396. Okay, well, that was our review of Bride by Ali Hazelwood. That is the Valkyrie Book Club, so till next time, toodaloo.
Adios.
Yeah.